Every time I see this, every time I see faith, family, football, every time I hear a coach say this, I kind of cringe. Be honest, it's such a cliche. When I hear coaches say we're about faith, we're about family, and then we're about football. I've heard it in job interviews and presentations at coaching clinics. It's just so common, and I think to myself, does this priorities really reflect that? I mean, does this person's time, this coach's time, really reflect that? The things that they're talking about in their program, does it really reflect faith, family, and football? Let me be honest. Yes, I do kind of judge coaches who say this, um, and that's what we do as coaches. We evaluate. But I will say this: if you have a problem with me, uh, just remember, don't judge me for judging them. That's all I gotta say. Um, but this is also something I think about myself, and I think this is an important topic to talk about um, because it brings up a lie that I think Christian coaches believe, um, and that's I don't have time. I think so many Christian coaches, especially coaches who say faith, family, and football, live their lives as if they don't have time. So this isn't really a teaching video on this week's Coach Walks Corner. This is more of a hey coaches, let's evaluate ourselves and maybe some beliefs that we have and that our actions show that maybe we believe a lie. Here's what I want you to think about. Time is the real indicator of your values, not your mission. So I know we say faith, family, and football, but if our time is not reflective in that way, if we always feel like we don't have time for our faith and we don't have time, not as much time for our family, but we somehow seem to have the time for our football or our sport, then we know what's really of value to us. It's the football, it's the sport, it's not the faith family, although we say it in that order. Time is the real indicator of your value, not your mission statement. And everybody can see it. They may not say it, but everybody can see it in us. So, for those who don't have time for church during this season, here's something that I want you to think about. Matthew 6:33. They had two versions of it, but seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. And I love the way this other version says it, the name of God version, it says, but first be concerned with his kingdom and what has his approval. Then all these things will be provided for you. See, if we sought first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, if we sought first as Christian coaches the things that have God's approval, our time is going to reflect that. The time that we talk about maybe character or spiritual truths to our team, is going to reflect that. We're going to have time for that. The time that we take to spend with our family, even during the season, that we carve out time because that's a value, and we know family is a value to God. We are a part of His family. That's a value. Our time will reflect that, and then certainly one as simple as making time for church. And so for me, interviewed at several different places, and talking to other coaches, and many coaches don't go to church during their season. They just feel like they don't have the time, and I just like, it's hard for me to relate to that. It's hard for me to even think as certain times I have interviews. It's like, well, I can't work on this staff if I don't even have time to go to church. I mean, how can we say faith, family, football, but during the season we don't have time? We don't have time to pray. We don't have time to read. Those things are just a reflection of our values. But if it's really faith first, Jesus teaches that we seek Him and His kingdom and the things that He approves. We seek those things first, and then He'll take care of the rest. So this is about priority. Don't believe the lie that you don't have time. It's about what you value. Okay. Does your time reflect faith, family, and football? And certainly not trying to be legalistic about this, but this is something I think to think deeply about in terms of what you say you value and then how your time is used. We have time. We definitely have time. We may not have as much time as we want. We may not be able to dedicate as much time as other people, but we have time. It's about what we value. And if we value faith, then family, then football, then we can't believe the lie that I don't have enough time. Last thing I would say is this: can't give away what you don't have, and we must make it a part of our DNA. So if there's, just kind of a bottom line, whatever spiritual beliefs that we have or what we say we have to continually work to make it a part of our DNA, because we can't give away what we don't have. People will see right through it. So love to get feedback, love to get comments, love to learn from other coaches. And so if there's anything that this sparked, feel free to comment. And, we can have dialogue. We can make each other better.